Hey, Seth Engle with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette here in College Park, Maryland, where Penn State just completed a 51-15 victory over the Terrapins. It was a much-needed win for Penn State with a week to go before Michigan. That's a must-win game right there, with the loss to Ohio State a few weeks ago. But this was a game that really came down to the offense. I think this was a contest that we kind of saw as, okay, when is Penn State going to find that offensive explosiveness? We've been asking the same questions for weeks. Today they found it, more or less. I think Drew Aller looked very comfortable. He threw a couple good explosive passes. And Dante Cephas, the transfer from Kent State, the Penn Hills grad, he really broke out as well with 2 touchdowns. The first one, was very difficult. He kind of had to bend backwards and look right up at the sky, and he held it down and somehow maintained possession and put a foot down. The second one was an over-the-shoulder grab that I think Drew really just placed perfectly. It was one of many throws that Drew made today that stood out. Another one on the offensive side, Kaytron Allen looked great. He's still looking for that 20-yard rush. He came close with a 19 today, but he does not have a 20-yard rush on the year. Nonetheless, 91 rushing yards on the day. I think he had only 14 attempts too, so it was a great day for him. He scored a touchdown late in the game. Another thing on offense was it wasn't just Drew. It was Bo Perbula as well, got some time. For the first time, Bo and Drew sharing the field at the same time, which I think just puts something more on the opposing defender's plate when they're game planning for Penn State's offense. Is okay. This is a team that they might switch things up once in a while. Bring out Bo Perbula on a couple sets. You never know what's going to happen. We were all watching the press box. We didn't know what was happening. It actually started with Bo was behind the offensive line. Drew was out wide. And then all of a sudden, Bo snaps the ball. Drew comes over, cuts across, and Bo pitches it to him, and Drew just kind of flicks it over to Theo Johnson in the end zone. It was pretty wild, but that's just one of the many plays that I think Mike Yurcich does have up his sleeve that maybe we haven't seen to this point. Another thing was Drew using his legs today. I think he broke off for about 38, 39 rushing yards today. That's just another thing. Like I said, with having Bo on the field, it's another thing that opposing defenses have to game plan for. Outside of just the natural, okay, we know he can ship the ball off for 6 yards. It's not too explosive of an offense. Now it's an offense that actually showed some stuff, and I think it's at the ideal time, right before what's quite possibly the most important game of the season. Ohio State maybe you could make the argument for, but that's obviously in the past. But if Penn State does want to make a college football playoff this year, which it's never done, in the final year of a 14 playoff, it has to be Michigan next week. But this offense may have found the groove that it's been looking for the whole year. So that's Seth Engle, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, signing off from College Park.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Apple Podcast channel for more podcast content. Click below for a special deal of 99 cents for a 3-month subscription to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.